Hi, Cancer. How are you doing? And welcome to your horoscope for the next 3 months, brought to you by Creme Constellation. I'm going to split this horoscope into challenges and opportunities, starting with the challenges so we can end this horoscope on a positive note. And please remember, Cancer, that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology, so only take what resonates. And I genuinely would like to know how you are doing. So if you feel moved to, go ahead and share that in the comment section below. With that said, let's get into your potential challenges. So let's start off with the month of March, where Venus and the Sun will begin their journey through the sign of Aries, which forms a challenging aspect to your sign. So this can manifest experiences of the flaring up of insecurities and perhaps an authority figure, a parent or even a male person may say something to you about the way you look or the way that you do something, which can then lead to you questioning or doubting yourself and possibly even overcompensating, doing too much and trying to prove them wrong. Or maybe you're doing too much, trying to prove your own negative self image wrong. You're trying to quiet the noise within your own mind. And now can also be a time when you're challenged to face your shortcomings, Cancer. You may be noticing that you're not where you thought you'd be in life, or perhaps you're feeling a little unimpressed with the pace in which your life is moving right now. And as a result, you may impulsively try to move things forward a little bit faster. However, things may not play out as you anticipate. So it really is advisable that you rather plan and strategize on what steps you will soon take to move things forward when the energy is better aligned and more supportive for you, and the likelihood for success is much higher, rather than trying to force things right now with this Aries energy being active. So try to wait it out a little bit. And then moving on into the month of April, you start things off with a full moon in the sign of Libra on the 2nd. So, something I want you to keep in mind, Cancer, is that when it comes to full moons and new moons, I want you to give the energy about a week prior and a week after to fully play out. Don't just focus on the actual day of the full moon or of the new moon. But anyway, back to this full moon. You may notice that around this time, you may be having big emotional reactions, almost as though you're not in control of your emotions. Like for some reason, you just can't hold back the tears. And around this time, it is honestly okay, Cancer. Let it all flush itself out, even if you're not particularly aware of what you're crying for. Full moons are all about cleansing and having a release. And then on the bright side, this can also be a time when you're witnessing the end of a challenging situation. But if that's not your astrology, then you could be facing an emotionally demanding situation instead. So you have to verify this information with your personal birth chart to see which side of the coin you are landing on. Then Mars and Mercury will begin their journey through the sign of Aries as well in the month of April, also making a challenging aspect to your sign. And while they're here, this can manifest experiences of being a bit of a shit starter. Perhaps people have been taking advantage or undermining you, Cancer, and right now you're just not having it. So, because you're easily triggered at this point, you may find yourself lashing out or engaging in arguments because you're seeking to defend yourself or put others in their place. And unfortunately, the misunderstandings and miscommunications are likely at this time, which can wind up causing more tension and discord than what you intended. So you're better off writing down your frustrations or talking through them with someone that you trust before addressing the actual person who is the actual problem. And by the way, Cancer, if you're interested in knowing how long the planets will be in the different signs, I have listed those dates in the comment section below. And then on the 17th of April, you have a new moon in the sign of Aries. And this is another moon that can cause you to feel even more sensitive than usual. But this time, it may be necessary for you to really dig deeper and investigate what these emotional triggers are so that you can heal and address them, and they'll no longer have the power over you that they currently do. So that will allow you to move forward in life with a little less emotional baggage or emotional triggers. So that's where I'm going to end the gloominess of the challenges for these 3 months. Let's get into your potential opportunities. So you start things off with a lunar eclipse full moon on the 3rd of March that is in the sign of Virgo, and it's forming a very positive aspect to your sign. So this could manifest karmic or fated events around a long awaited arrival of good news or information that can help you solve a problem, or information that can help you take progressive steps in a particular direction. All right, this is news that you've been waiting for what feels like forever. And also, it could manifest as a time when you're making an announcement about your departure, about you severing ties or leaving a situation behind. So, this could be leaving a job behind, leaving a relationship, or maybe you're moving away from the current neighborhood or city that you reside in. So there could be an announcement that you are about to make. All right. And also, this can be a time or an experience of mental clarity where there has been a long standing confusion, where you've spent a lot of time analyzing and investigating, and you've just never quite gotten the answers that you were looking for. But after this eclipse, or rather during the eclipse, could be a time when you're gaining that clarity. So when it comes to eclipses, the energy is more likely to either play out months before the actual day of the eclipse or months after. So give or take 6 months on either side. So you really need to observe the events that have transpired in your life to see whether or not some of these things have already played out, or it's still something that is on the horizon for you. Then also in the month of March, we have Venus entering her sign, the sign of Taurus, and it is making a beautifully positive aspect to your sign. So while Venus is here, you may notice that you are receiving more recognition or support for your talents or whatever it is that you're putting out there into the world, maybe on social media or maybe in the groups that you are affiliated with. Maybe you're part of the running club, or there's a drama club, or you are doing pottery, or you're painting, or you're making music. Whatever artistic ability that you are sharing with others, this could really be a time where a beautiful spotlight is shining on you, and more people are cheering for you, encouraging you, and seeing what you are truly made of. This is also a very good time for social engagements and just spending time with people that you care about, doing valuable things. You know, if you're going to spend time with your friends, make it count, make it be a little bit sentimental. Because this could be something that really revitalizes you and allows you to feel even better about yourself, but also about the relationships and the connections that you have. This is also a good energy for beginning a romance. So if you are single, Cancer, this could be the time in which you meet a very special person, but also it could lean on the side of friendship as well. So try not to get carried away with a new connection that is made around this time. Take your time with it, enjoy the person's company, see what you have in common, and you may be the one who realizes that this may be better off as a friendship rather than as a romance. But romance is definitely in the wheelhouse around this time, so do enjoy that if it is happening to you. But definitely go out, socialize, and network as much as possible, especially if you are seeking people that you can collaborate with on something creative. This energy is very supportive for that. And also, if you happen to be a Cancer that has been seeking some form of funding or financial support for your projects, this could very well be the time that you actually manage to attract that. People may be more willing to invest in you right now, but the key thing is you must express yourself and you must share your talents with the people. Then, when we move into the month of April, we have the Sun also entering the sign of Taurus, forming a positive aspect to your energy, making it a good time for you to take initiative and be a leader, especially if you happen to be a Cancer that is seeking a promotion within your work environment. You never know who's watching, so definitely take the initiative without stepping on anyone's toes, obviously, but do things that you've never done that really show off your leadership skills. You never know how things may play out for you. And this is a time when you're really in the spotlight, Cancer, to really be seen and celebrated. So allow that to happen. This is not the time to be shy, all right? But definitely it is the time to be receptive to that positive energy coming your way. People may be singing your praises around this time, either from having worked with you or having spent some form of social time or social engagement with you. So allow that to really work for you, especially in your professional networks and the acquaintances that you have made for professional or work life reasons. And then in the month of May, Mercury and Mars are also going to enter the sign of Taurus. So this is the abundance of Taurus energy, and it is very good to you and very lucrative for you, Cancer. So use it to the best of your ability. So while Mercury and Mars are in Taurus, you may see yourself enjoying more communications with your friends. Maybe you're using social media a lot more, or there's just a lot of correspondence coming through your social media or online communities that you are a part of. It is once again a good time for you to express your ideas, because you're likely to get really positive feedback and support for those ideas and the things that you want to initiate and implement. This is really the time for you to put in the work in the direction of your long-term goals or aspirations, because you're better able to pour your energy and your resources towards the things that you value. So if you stay focused, Cancer, you can really come out of this Taurus era and this Taurus energy really, really triumphant. And then also in the month of May, we have the Taurus new moon, forming once again positive aspect to your sign. So this new moon can bring about opportunities for collaboration, and these opportunities may come about unexpectedly. This can be an easier time for you to express yourself and your emotions and your ideas. New opportunities in the directions of your hopes and dreams may also arise and be abundant. So this Taurus new moon will be taking place on the 16th of May, but remember to give the energy about a week prior or a week after to fully play out. And then also in the month of May, we have Venus now changing signs, and she is moving into the sign of Cancer, your sign. And this is wonderful because she is going to give you a beautiful glow up. I'm talking about the physical kind, right? Where you really do appear more beautiful than usual. Like, we know that you're already beautiful, but having Venus in your energy, it just multiplies that beauty. And you may see that you're gaining more attention for your appearance, for your looks. So whatever it is that you're doing differently with your appearance may be getting you a lot of attention around this time. So maybe you've changed your hair color, or you're wearing a different wardrobe than what you're used to. Or maybe you've been working out for the past couple of months and your body looks great, or you feel great, or you've been juicing, and yeah, the vitamins and the cleansing, the detoxing that you've been doing over the past couple of months is really starting to show around this time when Venus is in your sign, Cancer. This is also a good time for self-care and pampering. All right, so definitely make time and put a budget aside for either going to a spa, doing a sound bath, getting a facial, whatever it is that makes you feel replenished, now is the time to do so. And it's also a great time for solo dates as well. Whether you're single or in a relationship, this is really the energy for you to love on you and nurture yourself. Because I know you spend a lot of time caring for other people, nurturing other people. This is a great time to do all of that for you. And this can also be a time where more of your creativity is coming out, or it's seeking to be expressed in some form of fashion. And you may also notice that you feel more like being a peacemaker and a mediator, or there are just situations happening around you that require you to be a peacemaker and a mediator. People seem to trust your ability to really de-escalate highly tense situations. So, of course, be of service when the service is needed. And then, when you're no longer needed in that moment, you can then go off and replenish yourself, and give yourself that inner peace that is really required after a long day of dealing with other humans and the things that other humans are going through. And once again, Venus in Cancer is also an energy that supports new romantic beginnings. So if you're a single Cancer, when Venus is in Taurus or Venus is in Cancer, you really can attract somebody. Just don't be too insistent upon it. Don't try too hard to attract someone. Allow it to happen organically, because the Taurus energy and the Cancer energy are passive energies. They're receptive. So it's not you going out and shooting your shot or asking someone out. It's rather being your beautiful self, sitting in your glow and allowing that to be what attracts a partner to you. Okay, so keep that in mind with Venus in these two signs. And that marks the end of your horoscope, my caring Cancer. This is the most significant astrology that I can see coming your way within these 3 months. Thank you so much for listening. You are more than welcome to save or download this audio so you can come back to it later if need be. And on my end, I would appreciate a like or a comment if you found any of this information helpful. And if you would like to reach out to me personally, my contact methods are in the description below. For now, stay caring, and I will catch up with you in 3 months' time. Hey Scorpio, how are you? And welcome to your horoscope for the next 3 months, brought to you by Creme Constellation. I'm going to split this horoscope into challenges and opportunities, starting with the challenges so we can end this horoscope on a positive note. And Scorpio, please remember that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology, so only take what resonates. And I genuinely would like to know how you are doing and how you have been. So if you feel moved to, you are more than welcome to leave that in the comments section below. And with that said, let's get into your potential challenges. So I'd like to start by bringing your attention to Venus entering and moving through the sign of Taurus. So as you know, Scorpio, Taurus is your mirror sign, right? It always pulls you in the direction of what is uncomfortable for you, but also what ends up balancing you out. So it is a bit of a challenging aspect if you're not well acclimated to the energy. So while Venus is in her sign, Taurus, you may notice yourself trying to force others or make others, or maybe even a particular relationship, play out in your favor. This is really giving control issues, Scorpio. So please do be mindful of that. Don't be the person who's kind of emotionally manipulative or trying to guilt trip people into staying with you or doing the things that you want to do. This is a time where it is better off and better for the relationship dynamic for you to meet people halfway. Seek to find some sort of a balance. if you want this relationship to last. But if you are going to have a my way or the highway type of mentality with whatever relationship that you're dealing with at this time, you may actually end up pushing the person or that circumstance away from you. The others in the relationship may either feel smothered or they may feel controlled by you or even manipulated. So watch out for that, and make sure that you don't fall for that trap. You may also be dealing with challenges around inconsideration and selfishness around this time, where somebody seems to be looking out for their own best interest and not for the best interest of the relationship dynamic with you. So, also, I would advise that you try not to be the person that's holding on to a situation that's doing more harm than good to you. If a person is coming across as though they're very nonchalant and not that into you, I would suggest letting them go, and let them see the error of their ways rather than holding on to them for dear life, hoping that they will change and hoping that they will see things the way that you do. They may very likely not, especially when you are enabling them to continue on in the relationship as they are doing. So be mindful of that as well. And then with this energy, you may also feel quite lazy, not really interested in doing, too many tasks, or you may be having creative blocks as well. So you may procrastinate a lot of things that you need to do. I will say, Scorpio, take care of the responsibilities, no matter how lazy you feel, no matter how much you feel like you can push it back and procrastinate it, rather just get it out the way. You'll probably thank yourself later if you just get it out the way instead of postponing it and then having things pile up and pile up and pile up. And then you wind up feeling overwhelmed like a month or two later. So be mindful that you are not giving in to the laziness more than you should or more than you are able to. And this is also a very passive energy. So it could influence you to also be more passive in terms of how you deal with conflicts or any tension within your relationship or in your life, any situations that are causing tension. You may rather just kind of sit back and wait to see what happens. And that might not actually be a bad idea. You may actually get to realize that certain situations are just gonna resolve themselves and take care of themselves. I mean, this is Venus after all. It is very possible that things could come to their own resolution without you putting in too much of your input. Maybe even too much effort and too much of your input around this time could actually make things worse instead of make things better. But use your discernment, Scorpio. Um, Weigh out the situation, use your intuition, and see whether or not it is necessary for you to contribute a certain amount of effort or a certain opinion on things. But ease is really the way to go with this energy. And then as we move into the middle of the month of April, the sun will be entering the sign of Taurus, marking the beginning of Taurus season. So obviously, Taurus energy means a challenging aspect to your sign. So around this time, you may notice a theme of having your ego bruised in some shape or form. There could be events, situations that you find yourself in that are quite humbling, that you find yourself taking very, very personally. Even when somebody is doing something just for their own sake, you may somehow manage to make that about you, Scorpio. So, really do be careful with that energy. Try not to make things that are not about you about you. I'm not saying necessarily that you're conceited, but yeah, this could be a time where you really feel like people are trying to get your feathers ruffled and people are trying to get under your skin. Don't fall for it, all right? Rather choose the high road. Don't fall for subliminal jabs and messages. Just kind of keep to yourself around this time. focus on the relationships that add value to you and that you can also add value to. People who are really petty around this time can be very triggering for you, so do be on the lookout for them. And there could also be an increase in stubbornness around this time, whether you're the one who's more stubborn than usual or somebody around you is more stubborn than usual. So that can be a very challenging dynamic to navigate. And this is really a time to also face your shadows. Shadows surrounding jealousy, self indulgence, masculinity, and also being shallow, being vain and materialistic. Any of those that you have not resolved, this could be a time for you to look at that and rectify and make the necessary changes that you feel like you need to make. It does not necessarily have to be in accordance with what someone else wants you to be, but rather with how you want to be, how you want to express yourself going forward, and how you would like to show up in your relationships going forward. So if you feel like you don't need to make any changes, then so be it. But if you feel like there's something that you want to improve on, face those shadows, be honest with yourself, and then make the necessary changes or let go of whatever it is that you would like to let go of. All right, so just a quick side note, Scorpio. If you're interested in knowing how long each planet will be in each sign, I have listed those dates in the comment section below. So if you're interested in knowing how long you're going to be experiencing a particular energy or how long you can work with a particular energy, those dates are in the comment section. So now we can move on into the month of May, where we have Mercury and Mars both entering and moving through the sign of Taurus. So once again, a challenging aspect to your sign. So with Mercury and Mars, you may notice experiences of really questioning whether you're doing enough or being enough in the Taurus area of your life. So this could be your marriage, your relationship with your children, your home, your spiritual or religious practices, your finances, right? This could be a time where you're really questioning how much effort you are putting in towards this area. How focused are you on this area of life? And also, what kind of improvements do you need to make? Just try not to beat yourself up about it too much, Scorpio. Don't be self-deprecating, but definitely do your evaluations and make the necessary improvements as you see fit. This can also manifest as a postponing of sharing your ideas and opinions. You may feel like now is not the time to say this thing. Now is not the time to tell the person how you feel, and that's okay. As I already mentioned, Taurus is a very passive energy. It's a wait and see kind of energy. So you're better off allowing people to come to you with an idea or a conversation or a concern, and allow yourself to be receptive to it, and then respond after you have truly evaluated and really sat with it before deciding to move forward in any kind of way. Make sure that you have really reflected and introspected on whatever it is that is coming towards you. This can also be a time where you're easily annoyed, Scorpio. You may want to argue, but you may also feel too lazy to argue. Like, situations could trigger you to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I want to give them a piece of my mind, but it's not worth it. The chances are they're not even going to listen to me, or whatever the reasoning is. But like I said, the Taurus energy, it really is a better option to just fall back and allow people to exhaust themselves with their own conflicts and have imaginary beef. And the funny thing with that energy is that other people may be rubbed the wrong way by your attitude and your behavior. So you choosing to actually fall back and not engage with them in those conflicts, it could actually agitate them and have them be annoyed with you. But don't take the bait, all right? You choose peace, you choose the high road, and they will figure themselves out in their own way. And also, for those of you who are doing any form of collaborations or teamwork around this time, it really may be difficult. You may find it very, very difficult to pull your own weight around this time. So I don't know if you can manage to ask somebody to cover for you or to work with you if you're really, really feeling lethargic and just not up to it, you're feeling fatigued, it would really be a good idea for you to ask for help around this time, Scorpio, so that you don't fall behind or too far behind with your work or whatever it is that you are meant to contribute. And it would really be a good idea for you to eat energy giving food. Yeah, that makes you feel energized rather than food that makes you feel sleepy and not want to do anything. So take the necessary precautions and make the necessary adjustments to your life around this highly Taurus activated time for you. All right, then on the 18th of May, we have a new moon in the sign of Taurus at 25 degrees. So remember, with new moons and full moons, we give the events a week prior or a week after to fully play out. So around this new moon, you may need to face unpleasant truths about yourself, but in as much as it is uncomfortable, these truths are going to give you clarity and a way forward. Try not to let the discomfort hold you back and keep you stuck, Scorpio. Choose to transform, just like your sign. Choose transformation always. And then also, there could be a new direction for some of you. Something new is beginning around this time, and you may be feeling a little bit nervous or anxious about it simply because it's not something that you necessarily saw yourself doing, or it's not a direction that you saw yourself headed in, and now it's happening, now you're doing it. So be mindful that there could be some anxiety taking place around this time. And there could also be an energy of uncertainty around this time. Remember that the new moon phase is a dark phase, right? We cannot see the moon. The moon is not illuminated at this time. So you could be experiencing something in your life where you're not really sure how things are going to go. And that can be a little bit scary and a little bit nerve-wracking. And also, there could be challenges with being patient, waiting something out. Some of you are waiting for something to unfold, or waiting for an answer, waiting for a yes or a no or a keep going or whatever it is that you are waiting for, but it seems to not be coming, right? It seems to be postponed or delayed, and your patience could truly be tested around this time. So be on the lookout for that. And also, it's possible for an unexpected idea or a new way forward to appear for you. And it's possible that you're going to meet this unexpected idea or this unexpected opportunity with a bit of reluctance. Like, you may not want to go in that direction, or you may be hesitating a little bit. Like I said earlier, because it's a direction that you never considered yourself heading in. So there could be a lot of apprehension around this time, but use your discernment, use your intuition, and really evaluate the pros and the cons of whether or not taking that new direction is going to benefit you long term, or if you're afraid because of the change that it may bring and the success that you may actually derive from it. So really consider what is it that is making you feel a little bit apprehensive about it. As I mentioned earlier, when the sun is in Taurus as well, it's a time of facing your shadows. So this new moon rather, so this new moon may also kind of hype up that energy of facing your shadows, especially around fears that are connected to change. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then one more challenging aspect that I want you to make a note of is Pluto starting its retrograde in the month of May. It'll only be retrograde from 5 degrees to 3 degrees of Aquarius. So check your chart to see if you have any planets or angles either between 5 to 3 degrees. Okay, but anyway, this retrograde is all about reviewing, realizing, reassessing, redefining, triggering or traumatizing experiences that involved power and control, jealousy, rejection and abandonment, obsession, addiction, paranoia, destruction, and change. All right, this is a time for you to introspect on all of those things so that you can heal and transform what was once disempowering into something more empowering. If you are a Scorpio rising in particular, this could be connected to your childhood, your parents, and your family lineage, right? It could be very, very deep if it's connected to your roots and your foundation. But if you're not Scorpio rising, you will then need to apply this to your chart according to the rising sign that you have. And if you don't know how to figure that out on your own, methods to get in touch with me are listed in the description below. All right, that's enough of the challenges for now. Let's get into your potential opportunities. So, there are two standout energies that I want to bring your attention to within the entire 3 months. So, first is the lunar eclipse full moon in the sign of Virgo. So, by the time you hear this, this has already passed. But when it comes to eclipses, the energy tends to play out either 6 months or more prior or 6 months after. All right, so you will need to really look at your life and see how this energy fits for you and whether or not some of these events have already manifested or if it's something that is coming up for you. Anyway, this lunar eclipse full moon in Virgo, it's forming a very positive aspect to your sign, and it can bring about opportunities that release you from the past and allow you to move forward. So this could be something that you have wanted to be free from for a very long time. You have been over analyzing, overthinking this situation. It has given you sleepless nights, and now the clarity that may come, the information that may come, may finally give you the go ahead to actually move on or to put something to bed. And also, there's no more hiding with this energy or being overlooked. This is a time when recognition and support may be coming your way. So if you have been feeling like you're overlooked, either your talents, your ideas, your skills are overlooked, and you're not getting your flowers, you're not getting the attention that you deserve for what it is that you contribute, this eclipse could be marking the end of that, the end of being challenged with being unseen and not being taken seriously. And you may also see some progress and see that a light is shining in the direction of your hopes and dreams. There seems to be an opportunity for you to progress with one of your hopes and dreams around this time or within the 6 months that are coming ahead. So be on the lookout for that as well. And then the other full moon that I want to bring your attention to is the Scorpio full moon that will be taking place on the 1st of May at 11 degrees. So with this energy, obviously it's your energy. So it is a culmination for you. This is a time where you may notice that you have all you need to start something new or to make a change. Perhaps you've been feeling like you don't have enough, or you don't have the right resources, the right people, the right ideas, the strength physically. Maybe you have been ill and you've been healing from something, and now could be the time where you really feel like you're energized, you have your strength back, you have the people that you needed, the ideas that you needed, the resources that you needed, and now you can start afresh, you can start anew, or you can make the change that you want to make. This could also be a time where there is an opportunity for you to be celebrated, or you are celebrating something that you have successfully completed. All right, maybe you have solved the problem or you've achieved a personal goal, whichever one it is for you, Scorpio. Give yourself permission to celebrate yourself. And also, this is a time where your instincts are heightened and you may be feeling like you can take great risks. I would personally give you the go ahead with the Scorpio full moon. However, once again, use your discernment, weigh out your pros and cons, especially if you are not a Scorpio rising. You have to evaluate this energy with your personal birth chart. All right, I think that's all from me. We have reached the end of your horoscope, my sultry Scorpio. That is the most significant astrology that I see coming your way within these 3 months. Thank you so much for listening. You are more than welcome to save or download this audio so you can come back to it later if need be. On my end, I would appreciate a like or a comment if you found any of this information helpful. And if you would like to reach out to me personally, my contact methods are listed in the description below. For now, stay sultry, and I will catch up with you in 3 months' time. Hey Pisces, how are you doing? And welcome to your horoscope for the next 3 months, brought to you by Creme Constellation. I'm going to split this horoscope into challenges and opportunities, starting with the challenges so we can end this horoscope on a positive note. And please remember, Pisces, that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology, so only take what resonates. And I would truly like to know how it is that you are doing and how you've been holding up. So if you feel moved to, you are more than welcome to leave that in the comment section below. And with that said, let's get into your potential challenges. So, for the month of March, I have good news for you, Pisces. I'm only seeing one challenging aspect for you to deal with, and that's the lunar eclipse full moon in the sign of Virgo that's coming up March 3rd. So, by the time you hear this, this has already taken place. So, the side note that I want you to keep in mind is that when it comes to full moons and new moons, give the events about a week prior or a week after to fully manifest. Don't just focus on the actual day of the full moon or of the new moon. However, when it comes to eclipses, the events could play out about 6 months prior within those 6 months or 6 months after. All right, so you will have to really observe your life and see whether or not some of the events have already begun, are currently taking place, or they are still yet to come. Anyway, coming back to this eclipse, if you have been working on or working towards closure or completion that has felt like it just refuses to resolve, for some reason, you just can't seem to get past this thing, Pisces, then this eclipse may be the final nudge or the burst of energy that encourages you to close out or complete your specific karmic cycle in the Virgo ruled area of your life. So, this eclipse could trigger events, advice, or realizations that are coming your way to help you make the necessary changes. So, what makes this energy challenging is the disharmony between how you believe things are supposed to go versus the divine intervention that this eclipse is bringing about for you. Your ego may not necessarily agree with or like the direction that the higher power or destiny or karma is pointing you in right now. But you know what, Pisces? Destiny doesn't get involved unless the change is absolutely necessary. So, my advice is be willing to release, because the more you resist, the more you'll struggle with this energy. Like it or not, Pisces, this change is happening. Okay, then we can make our way over into the month of April, where we have Venus and Uranus entering the sign of Gemini, which will be forming a challenging aspect to your sign. So, Venus in this position can manifest conflicts in your relationship dynamics, where it seems like your needs and wants are not aligned with the needs and wants of others. It's giving irreconcilable differences right now. So be mindful of that, Pisces. And then when it comes to Uranus, its impacts and effects will be experienced over a longer period of time, because Uranus will be in Gemini for about 8 years. And I will be posting a Uranus in Gemini video very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But for now, those of you who have planets or angles between 1 to 5 degrees of the mutable signs, particularly Gemini, but also Sagittarius, Virgo, and your sign Pisces, you may be significantly impacted by Uranus within this year till about May, all right, of next year. So the 1 to 5 degrees, that's how long the impact should be lasting. So, this Uranian influence on you, Pisces, can manifest challenging, sudden changes where you may feel blindsided by the events or outcomes that take place, which may then require you to completely change your perception and perspective of things and thus do things that would generally be out of the norm for you. I think it's safe to say that your ego and personal identity are in for a massive awakening, and I wish you all the best with navigating this transit for the next 8 years. Okay, then moving on over into the month of May, we have Mercury and the Sun also entering the sign of Gemini, also forming a challenging aspect to your sign. And by the way, Pisces, if you would like to know how long each planet will be in each sign, I have listed those dates in the comment section below. Anyway, back to Mercury and the Sun during their time in Gemini, you may notice way more arguments or heated debates kicking off involving you or around you. Others may be trying to suppress your voice or your views around this time. You may also find yourself in situations where your opinion or something you say rubs other people the wrong way, then you have to do some form of damage control as a result of that. So have patience with people, Pisces. They may be, honestly, in this situation, I feel like they may be the ones who are imagining things. For a change, it's not you. So give them a little bit of grace. And in the same instance, Pisces, this could be a time when you're getting picked on or you're being seen as a bit of an easy target. Now, depending on your rising sign and the rest of your astrology, this could really be the story of your life. But around this time, this energy may be even more intense than usual. And I feel like you're going to get the sense in your mind to want to tell these people where to get off. And you're likely going to do that. Like, I feel like you're at a point where you've had enough with being underestimated. So here's what I'll say. I'm all for standing your ground and speaking up for yourself. The only thing that I want you to do, Pisces, is to pick your battles and pick your opponents wisely. All right? There are certain people that at the moment, it's not in your best interest to ruffle their feathers. There will be another time for that, to confront them or to prove your point or to stand up for yourself, right? When the energy is more supportive. Because right now, you could be coming from a place of frustration rather than from a place of doing what is right for yourself, right? And coming from a good place. So you really want to choose your words carefully around this time and definitely choose your opponents. Is this the best time to confront this person? Is it the best time to bring up these issues? All right, so use your discernment, use your intuition, and see how it goes. And then lastly, at the very end of May, on the 31st, there will be a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And this one also forms a challenging aspect to your sign. So this energy of the Sagittarius full moon is putting an end to something that limits your growth and expansion, or perhaps you don't need to completely end it around this time, not all of you, but you just need to make certain changes. There are adjustments that need to be made in order for you to progress, in order for you to expand and grow. So you can apply that to your life accordingly. Is it something that needs to end for you, or is it something that you can adjust in order for you to move forward with it? And this full moon is mostly significant for those of you who have planets or angles at around 9 degrees of the mutable signs. So this would be Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and of course your sign, Pisces. So with that said, those are the challenges that I see coming your way within these 3 months. Let's take a look at your potential opportunities. So we kick things off with Mars entering the sign of Pisces in the month of March. And this is going to give you a confidence and energy boost, making this a good time for you to take progressive steps towards your personal goals. Start something new or even do something you normally wouldn't have the courage to do around this time, Pisces. Allow yourself to be led by your passions and your instincts. Then, at the very end of March, Venus will enter her sign, the sign of Taurus, which is high key one of your besties in astrology, if you didn't already know that. This energy has the potential to open the opportunity floodgates for you. You may notice an easier flow and harmony within your relationship dynamics. Negotiations seem to be going well around this time. Money is easily flowing into your account or into your life around this time, and you're receiving gifts and favors more than usual. There may be opportunities that seem to come to you without much effort on your part, and you're likely to be feeling really, really good and looking even better around this time. So Venus in Taurus is a very, very beneficial energy for you. So use it to the best of your abilities. And also remember that Venus in Taurus is a passive energy. It's a receptive energy. So allow yourself to receive. You don't have to work too hard around this time, but of course, make the effort where effort is necessary. And you know what, Pisces? This Venus in Taurus energy is actually a great energy for dating as well. So if you've been thinking about dating, you've been keen on it, but really hesitant, and it's just felt like, you know what, there are other things for you to focus on in life other than being in a relationship right now, it might not be the worst idea to go on a blind date or to do some speed dating or finally say yes to that person that has been courting you for the longest time. Even if you don't end up being with them long term, it's still likely that you can have an enjoyable time just going on dates and being admired for who you are, and being pampered and being spoiled and just be taken out and celebrated. All right. So give yourself the opportunity to be dated, even if you're not looking for something serious at the moment. Oh, and before I forget, there will be a new moon taking place on the 19th of March in your sign, Pisces. And this means fresh starts and new beginnings energy is surrounding you around this time. Remember to give the events about a week prior or a week after to fully play out. But I must say that there is a catch when it comes to new moons, because this could mark a very dark time in your life. You know how when the moon is new, we can't really see it, right? There's no light or illumination. So that could manifest in your life as well. And this is not a dark that is like bad or challenging. This is a dark that is more mysterious and unclear or unknown. Perhaps because you may have or you may be ending something or completing something, a particular cycle in your life, but now you don't really know what's next. So some of you may be experiencing this new moon in that way, where it's really a dark time and you don't really know what else, and you don't really know what is about to happen. And that's okay. Trust in the unknown. I feel like nobody understands that better than you, Pisces. Trusting in the unknown and allowing things to kind of figure themselves out for you, right? And trusting in a higher power. And then in the month of April, we have the beginning of Taurus season when the sun enters Taurus on the 20th. And like I said, Taurus is your astrology bestie. So you can expect to see and experience increased vitality and a boost in self love and self worth, self care, self appreciation. It may really be, or it may really feel and seem like the universe has its spotlight on you around this time, Pisces. Life seems to be blissful and beautiful for you, or at least I hope so. But this is more especially if you are a Pisces rising, okay? Then in the month of May, Mars and Mercury will both enter the sign of Taurus, which will boost your creativity and imagination. This can be a time where you're having really good ideas, you're able to solve minor problems, and you're able to make well thought out decisions. This energy also supports you with pouring your energy into tasks of value that'll benefit you in the long term. Then there will be a new moon in the sign of Taurus on May 16th, which brings with it new opportunities that can be of value and of benefit to your already existing projects. You may be having clarity also around this time on how to move forward with certain things and give them a longer shelf life should you want them to last. And with that, we have reached the end of your horoscope, my precious Pisces. That is the most significant astrology that I see coming your way within these 3 months. Thank you so much for listening. You are more than welcome to save or download this audio should you want to come back to it later. On my end, I would appreciate a like or a comment if you found any of this information helpful. And if you would like to reach out to me personally, my contact methods are listed in the description below. For now, stay precious, and I will catch up with you in 3 months' time.